I've got big crypto news for you. We're going to talk about California passing a crypto executive order, which mirrors President Biden's crypto executive order from a couple months ago. This is bullish. We also have Elon Musk tweeting about NFTs, changing his profile photo to the Bored Ape NFT. Is this a narrative forming that is aligning with Bitcoin's retracement and alt season? I want to break it down. And we have news out of the SEC of them boosting their enforcement unit, which is not good news, but I want to share what folks are saying. And also, Ripple has released its XRP markets report, and there's a lot of big takeaways that I want to break down for you guys. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. If you are new here, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast site, please give me a 5-star rating. Earlier today, I uploaded my interview with Ron Hammond of the Blockchain Association. He's a frequent guest. He has the boots on the ground in DC. He's talking to regulators and politicians. We talk about the SEC, the SEC versus CFTC, the California Crypto Executive Order, and much more, guys. You definitely want to check it out. You're going to hear directly from the horse's mouth here about what's happening in DC around crypto. Now, before we get into the news, quick word from our sponsor, and that is iTrust Capital, which allows you to trade crypto within a retirement account, which gives you huge tax benefits and savings. iTrust Capital is a great platform that has 25 plus cryptocurrencies, a full mobile app on iOS and Android, and there are no monthly fees or subscription fees. It is free to sign up. So you can head on over there, see if it's for you, go in and check out the platform. They have a really great security, so you don't have to worry about your crypto getting stolen or hacked. They use Coinbase custody, which institutions use. And best of all, if you use my link in the description, you can get a $100 funding bonus. So be sure to check out iTrust Capital. Now, let's look at the market here, guys. I want to talk about Bitcoin's price because we had the Fed come out today and they bumped up rates to by 0.5 and half a point essentially. And the market reacted positively. Now, we didn't see some epic pump, but definitely the price started moving up for both stocks and crypto. And here, if we look at the Bitcoin daily chart, we see that green candle that formed here, and we're still within this range, guys. We're still chopping within this range. So higher highs and higher lows are forming. And as we've been talking about, we want to see Bitcoin head to that 50 to 54,000, 55,000 price range, which will be its retracement. Then it would head into a bear market. And alt season should follow the move towards 50 to 54,000. Now, this is not guaranteed. This is just a thesis based on past market performance and how the market has been trending lately. So don't get me wrong that this is in stone and this is exactly what's going to happen. We all don't know. It doesn't matter who it is, the best technical analyst or whoever may be, the most seasoned trader. We just don't know what's going to happen. But I think we're looking at probabilities, and I think that the higher probability here, if we look at Bitcoin, it is ranging and it could head to that retracement peak of 50 to 54,000, and then alt season should be within this. But let's see what happens. Now, what we've seen historically, guys, is that with the crypto market, there's usually a narrative that forms, right? And one of the signals or some of the signals that you want to look at is what's the sentiment? And right now, the Bitcoin fear and greed index is at 21, extreme fear. People are scared. They don't know what's going to happen. There are talks of Bitcoin going to 20 something thousand dollars. So some are selling off and so forth. However, what the whales are doing are buying. So we're seeing Bitcoin exchange outflows hit highs as the Bitcoin and other crypto are leaving the exchanges and they're going to cold storage. Now, when the price has been at its highest and peak, like for example, last year we had two peaks, right? That's when we see the exchange inflows increase. That's when people are sending their Bitcoin to the exchanges to sell. So we're seeing the opposite right now, which is a good sign, right? It's contrary to what the masses are feeling, and that is fear. Now, we don't want to invest with our emotions and feelings. We've talked about that ad nauseum for years, right? We want to look at data and trends and analytics. That's why I'm sharing that with you guys here. You want to leave your emotions at the door. The other aspect to this is that Bitcoin miners are not selling their Bitcoin. For example, Bitcoin miner Marathon Digital Holdings now owns 9,673 Bitcoin worth more than $377 million. They're hodling all the Bitcoin they mine. So they know higher prices are coming in the future. So they are just holding, and they will sell at certain price points, because remember, it's not easy for them to hold because they have an operation, a business to run. They have expenses. So they will have to sell Bitcoin at some point to make sure they maintain their profitability, right? This is simple business 101. So that's another signal. And then you have the narrative of being formed by certain people, such as Elon Musk. All of a sudden today, he tweeted out, I don't know, seems kind of fungible. And in addition to doing that, he changed his profile photo to a collage here of the Bored Ape NFTs. Now, he has since changed it. It looks like his son playing with a toy rocket, but he just did that this morning. And then all of a sudden you had the Fed come out, 0.5 interest rate hike, and the market started moving. So once again, narratives, and I don't think these things are coincidences. We've seen Elon do things around crypto that I think is a very timed. Remember, he has a stake in this. He holds Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin. Tesla and SpaceX both hold Bitcoin on their balance sheet. So I think the narrative is starting to build here of things going higher, the prices going higher. And once again, not to what some may think, Bitcoin going to $100,000 plus or something like that. I don't think that's happening, but I could be wrong. I hope it happens. But once again, we're looking at probabilities. So interesting, amount of metrics and news items here that you want to look at this holistically, not from one angle, but from multiple angles. And from multiple angles, it is certainly looking bullish in the short term, not the long term, in the short term. Once again, Bitcoin's retracement and an alt season. But let's see what happens, my friends. But that's some things to keep in mind. Now, this is the big news of the day, in my opinion. California governor issues executive order on crypto as state embraces blockchain technology. Folks, despite the price, despite what's happening, the governments, the private sector, everybody's moving forward. The hedge funds are raising money. All these investment firms are raising money. It's pretty amazing what's going on. So Governor Newsom's executive order on blockchain aligns with Biden administration proposal in March. So obviously President Biden issued a crypto executive order in March. It was good. So one of the largest states in the US is doing this. What am I going to say, guys? Game theory. Watch other states follow suit. The directive spells out a roadmap on regulatory and consumer protections. The governor is calling on California to examine using blockchain solutions in state operations. Folks, we are headed, as I've said many times, to the token economy, the digital economy. And it's not only going to be private businesses and so forth and public companies, but governments, local, state, federal, they're going to be using blockchain tech, right? Tokenization. And we're already seeing that with CBDCs being built by central banks around the globe, guys. So tech investors and businesses in California have been betting on crypto for well over a decade. Now the governor of the US state with the largest economy is joining the party. So California Governor Gavin Newsom issued an executive order Wednesday on cryptocurrencies, laying out a roadmap for regulatory and consumer protections and examining ways the state can take advantage of blockchain technologies and digital assets. Here's a quote. Of the 800 blockchain businesses in North America, about a quarter of them are in California, dramatically more than any other state, Dee Meyer, senior advisor to Newsom, said, and a director of the governor's Office of Business Economic Development. We've heard from so many that they want to be here, and we want to help them do that responsibly. So this is bullish, my friends. Very, very bullish. All politics aside, right? Some people hate Newsom and what's happening in California. And yes, it's a mess, right? But let's put that to the side right now, because I think we're seeing bipartisan support, Democrats and Republicans, and it's this train on its own track moving very fast, right? So all politics aside, guys, but this is just huge. And we're seeing both blue and red states, adopting crypto and pushing forward here, right? Just look at Texas. Texas, I believe, is in the lead right now. A lot of companies going there outside of crypto. And then you have a lot of Bitcoin mining happening. So Newsom is directing the state's Business and Economic Development Office to work in collaboration with California's Business, Consumer Services, and Housing Agency and the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation. The order is designed to create transparency and consistent business environment for companies operating in blockchain, including crypto assets and related financial technologies, that harmonizes federal and California laws, balances the benefits and risks to consumers, and incorporates California values such as equity, inclusivity, and environmental protection. Huge news, guys. Huge news. And I know some of you are going to be like, but why isn't the market pumping like crazy? Well, as always, the news that comes out doesn't mean it's going to pump the market. You have to kind of have that perfect storm of, are we in, from a technical analysis standpoint, in a bullish uptrend, or not in a bearish scenario for the news to have some sort of impact. But for us who are long-term holders and looking at the technology and its adoption closely, this is massive, guys. This is a huge domino that's just fallen here. So imagine what other states are, going to look to do, who want to compete because they want the businesses too, right? We saw that Miami as a city in Florida has been leading with Mayor Suarez, and like I mentioned before, Texas, and then there's Wyoming and so forth. So as these big states like California, New York, and so forth jump in, it's going to be really interesting, guys. Now, Chris Larson of Ripple, he tweeted out the following regarding this news. He said, "Proud of my home state and the California governor for taking an important step today to ensure the U.S. remains a place where blockchain and crypto can continue to thrive." He said, "With programs to enhance education, promote financial inclusion and sustainability, and most importantly, provide regulatory clarity through a consistent framework, California will be a global hub for crypto talent and innovation." Very interesting. That statement there, the last part, California will be a global hub. Are they trying to do Silicon Valley 2.0, right? Crypto Valley 1.0? Let's see, guys. I think everybody's awakening now, people in the government and so forth, as to what this is about to happen. Now, the Blockchain Association, which, as I mentioned earlier, Ron Hammond of the Blockchain Association, I interviewed him earlier today. Be sure to check out the interview. They tweeted out saying, "We applaud California for issuing an executive order to study crypto and digital assets. Industry is eager to collaborate with government on common sense rules for industry to allow California and the U.S. to lead in crypto innovation." Danelle Dixon, who I've interviewed of Stellar, she said, "Huge props to California Governor Gavin Newsom for embracing transparency, harmonization, and most importantly, the role crypto will play to address emergent societal needs in his crypto executive order. A Stellar Foundation stands ready to help realize this vision." Very interesting statements coming out from these folks at Ripple and Stellar, right? I think they recognize how huge this is. Now, Michael Arrington, who I've interviewed on the channel, I'm a big fan of Michael. He's kind of one of my tech heroes, right? He built TechCrunch. Now he's in crypto, has his hedge fund. He's investing in different projects, Algorand, and he's done really well with Luna. And he's certainly a big XRP fan because he recognizes how great the technology is. Well, he tweeted out a photo of Brad Garlinghouse at the Milken Institute Global Conference. So Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple CEO, rubbing shoulders with, obviously some of these just world leaders and innovators. And it's amazing, Ripple, they've got a lot up their sleeve, man. They're building some huge things globally. He tweeted out Brad doing Brad stuff and hashtag Milken, hashtag XRP. Yeah. I think they're cooking up something big, guys. And you got to be there with these folks, right? To be able to influence them and teach them about the technology and get the adoption. Now, Ripple released their Q1 XRP report. And here's what Ashish Barla, tweeted out in summary. He says, coming off our best year yet, RippleNet ended Q1 2022 with record numbers and customer demand. Some of the highlights by the numbers. He says RippleNet reached a $15 billion annualized payment volume run rate as customers expand the use of RippleNet and ODL beyond remittances, including treasury and SME payments. That is interesting, beyond remittances. So they're finding more and more use cases here. Remember, ODL uses XRP, guys. He says ODL grew 8x year over year, and I'm incredibly proud to see half of the customers using ODL today upgraded their services from fiat only, a testament to ODL's product market fit and the vision we had from day one. Global growth remains strong with improved product functionality, such as the ability for payments to continue processing if an ODL exchange partner happens to go down. APAC is one of the biggest contributors of ODL dollar volume, totaling over $1 billion in Q1 alone. ODL can enable payouts in 25 payout markets today, including new regions like Singapore, Malaysia, Poland, Indonesia, Thailand, and more, up from 3 markets in 2020. So they're certainly seeing massive growth, guys, from 3 markets to 25. And of course, the US would be a big part of that if the SEC were not bullshitting and filing a lawsuit against Ripple and doing all the crap they're doing. And we're going to talk about Gary Gensler and the SEC. She says here, these markets collectively represent approximately 62% of the $700 billion per year global remittance market and approximately 86% of the $6 trillion a day global FX market, which includes treasury, corporate FX, cross-border payments. He says here, and finally, I'm excited to announce that we have hired a new VP of global payments, and his name is Sonny Joseph, to lead payments for RippleNet. So this is great news, guys. Ripple continues to see growth globally despite what's happening in the SEC. And speaking of the SEC, yesterday they tweeted out, today we announced that we're bolstering the unit responsible for protecting investors, in crypto markets and from cyber-related threats. The newly renamed Crypto Assets and Cyber Unit in the Division of Enforcement will grow to 50 dedicated positions. I tweeted out about this. This is not about protecting investors, because if it was, they would put out the clear guidelines, and then you go around and make sure people are abiding by the guidelines, right? You put out the law, right? This is simple part of civilization and usually how you want people to do things. Here is the checklist. Here are the rules. Here are the laws. Here's what you need to do. Here's the step-by-step. They have not done any of that, but they're coming around saying, hey, you should know. You should be able to read our minds. You should be doing this, right? And they're not providing the roadmap for folks. So we know this is regulation by enforcement, which is total bullshit. And obviously, lots of folks in the industry and in the government are calling the SEC out on this. And by the way, Ron Hammond and I talk about this in our interview. One of the questions I asked them, hey, what can Congressman Tom Emmer and Davidson and these folks do? Because we've seen them tweet, that they're not in agreement with this. And he gave his breakdown of what they can do and what's upcoming. So this is not good news from the SEC, but I think folks in Congress are ramping up their offense now. I think they're going to take the gloves off a bit. And here, I was surprised by this. Commissioner Hester Peirce, who is obviously not in alignment with Gary Gensler, she tweeted out on that tweet thread, the SEC is a regulatory agency with an enforcement division, not an enforcement agency. Why are we leading the enforcement in crypto? Good question, Hester. And of course, I've interviewed her a couple of times. I'm actually trying to get a follow-up interview with her. Clearly, she doesn't agree, but she's, I believe, now the only person there who's pro-crypto. Elad Roisman stepped down in January. So let's see what happens, folks. This sucks. And I hope Congress can, make the moves to move power away from the SEC, put some in the corner of the CFTC, and limit Gary Gensler's overreach. Now, Jake Tversky, who works for the Blockchain Association, he's head of policy. He tweeted out in response to this, if I were the leadership at the SEC, I would hire a team of policy experts to analyze the unique properties of digital asset markets and craft a tailored regulatory framework that promotes U.S. innovation and competitiveness. Instead, we're told to expect more regulation by enforcement. So I'm glad that folks in the industry are speaking up now. I think we might start to see less politically correct language here. And I think the gloves are going to come off and they're going to start throwing Gensler and the SEC under the bus, because he's clearly ready to go on the offense and attack crypto exchanges and crypto companies. And I'm not just talking about Ripple, guys. There's other crypto projects. Don't be surprised if he goes down the list and goes after, I don't know, Cardano, Chainlink, whatever, right? They tried to go after Luna and Do Kwon, right? You guys know about that. And then obviously they went after BlockFi, fined $100 million. Crazy. So they're probably going to go after the other lending platforms, guys. This is nuts. Now, this is interesting, guys. I think Binance is starting to get into the good graces of regulators. Remember last year, they were feeling the heat, man. Well, they just got approved as a digital asset service provider in France. And this is the world's largest crypto exchange, guys. So this is good news. And it shows that an exchange that had a lot of targets on its back because they were operating in globally in certain markets without certain licenses. Now, I'm not saying that to say that he did something wrong. It was just, look, crypto was in the wild west days. People were doing their thing. And then all of a sudden it's going mainstream. It's getting regulated. So everybody's got to get in line now. And it looks like Binance is doing that. But this is big, guys. And the crypto sponsorships, guys, continue to go up and up and up. Here, Anthony Scaramucci said, congrats to Kevin Durant, NBA superstar, and Rick Kleiman, if I'm saying that right, on new ownership stake in Gotham FC. And then Algorand is a sponsor there. You see Kevin Durant holding the t-shirt, or excuse me, the jersey with the Algorand logo. So here, OKX Crypto Exchange, which is part of OK Group, which also owns OK Coin, they have formed a partnership with McLaren Racing Team and Shadow Esports Team. This is huge, guys. Huge sponsorship. McLaren, are you killing me? In F1 racing, we're just seeing massive sponsorships, and obviously these things are not cheap, right? We're talking millions of dollars. So these companies are making these bets despite what the price is doing right now. They are anticipating growth, higher prices. I've said it many times. What drives people to come into this asset class? What is the main driver? Right? Secondary, we could talk about secondary drivers and that, like technology and curiosity and so forth. But the main thing is price, guys, that people see the price going, they're like, okay, I want to make some money, right? Well, if that's not happening and the price is going down, ain't nobody going to want to come in here, right? So think about it. Think about it. These businesses are betting on higher prices. So bullish times are ahead. Do you guys agree with me on Bitcoin's retracement and the narrative being formed here, given all the things I mentioned, especially around Elon? Watch Elon closely, because we've seen it already, right? What he did last year and so forth. And obviously there's going to be a point where, you want to make sure you're selling the tops, right? You're buying the bottoms, not financial investment advice, just general market principles. Buy the low, sell the highs, and make sure you're paying attention to the chart, right, guys? So that's the news. And let me know what you guys think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button, share this video, and I'll talk to you all later.